Incoming message.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
They've been out here living their best life in the Fiat commercial.
I saw that.
And I aspire one day for us to have such a commercial to just be ourselves in. Like, they ain't doing nothing
They
crazy.
really just chilling, bro.
It's like, yo, we've been friends for 30 years, and this is our first commercial together. Like, it really is restoring the feeling of Spike and the MJ and the Michael Jackson and the Jordan commercials, like all of that. Like, I love seeing Spike in that in his natural element.
I got to salute that all the way, too. I can't hate it, especially when you can get the bag and skate on them with some gelato at the same time. I'm all the way here for it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They making commercials look fun again. What's going on, fam? This is KR Jones of the Off the Strength podcast, and I am here to tell you to like, listen, subscribe, and if you're feeling freaky, visit offthestrength.com. That's where you can go and get more information on us. That's where we can link, we can build, we can connect, and let's make this thing work.
The Panamanian black household, to me, always came in with like 3 different accents. There would be the stuff that would sound kind of Spanish, the stuff that sound kind of Caribbean, and then just the straight black. So you get all different types of wild sayings that was mixed up in a pot that I don't know if they all the way made sense to me all the time, but I was appreciative of them looking back now. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, Brother Jones, what's some of the wildest sayings that you heard growing up around your family that you never really understood, but you look back at now and just is kind of like, yo, what was they on?
The wildest sayings?
Yeah, man.
Like,
any phrases that you heard growing up in the house?
I just think of insults back in the day, you know, be like, oh, that brother elevator don't go all the way to the top. You'd be like,
that's what they're saying.
Yeah, he a little slow. That's what that means.
You can't do that.
Stuff like that. It's like, it come every once in a while. I can't think of nothing ringing. My grandmother used to be like, yeah, you need that, like you need a hole in your head, you know?
My grandmother, so on my mom's side, the American black side, she always say something like, good riddance to bad rubbish. And I was like, I'll never understood like when you had good rubbish or when this all made sense, but that would be her telling you off. She's like, oh, I'm about to hang up on you. I'm about to good riddance to bad rubbish. And when you could bang the phone, she'd be banging the phone on you after that.
That's a fact. I needed the translator when I came to Brooklyn originally. Like, I needed to bounce some ball because I ain't understand what broken English, patois, none of that Creole, all of that.
That's kind of my point. See, the Panamanian household, even the English, wasn't all the way real English. It's kind of like that patois kind of side. At least my grandmother on that end, she used to be calling my little brother, his name is Daniel. Danielle is how the Colombians would say that.
Yeah.
You can't explain that to a 2-year-old. He did not like that. He had an issue with it every single time.
He ain't like it.
And would get angry. That's not my name. He's like, yo, that's how we talk on this side of the family.
I had a lot of K names in my family. So I had my Uncle Kevin, my cousin Keith. I'm Kyle, obviously. So somebody call you, Kevin, Kyle, whatever your name is, come here. They give you one of them.
That's how I got the nickname Boy Boy.
Yeah.
They was like, yo, Tony, Ricky, Brian, Boy, get over here.
Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. You know what I'm saying?
What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we give you an inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course, with me, I have a gentleman of extraordinary league.
KR Jones is in the building.
That's right, folks. We are back. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all type from near and far, you are now in store for a treat because it's the return of the variety show. That's when we give you our best foot forward. So hopefully you take your best foot forward. You do that 2-step, that tango, whatever it is you need to do to make it on through the week with the best goddamn wellness information available.
Yeah.
Brother Jones.
What's the word?
How are you feeling this week, my friend?
I'm feeling good, man. We had a week off, and now we back, and you know, it's always a blessing to touch down onto the mics and give people some love, but man, it's been a time. I feel like I done beat Jordan and around the world.
Okay.
I got home to be more, got to check in on the fam, on some friends. I did the whole brunch situation, you know, the whole jazz. So just happy to be back in town. And I've been back in the gym, Tony.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking sore is all outdoors. I've been pushing through the pain. You know, when Dom set in, you got that 48-hour window. The only way to stop that is you got to keep moving.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So happy to be in motion. Feel like I'm sculpting right now. Like, I ain't going on stage or nothing, but your boy about to be cut.
Chiseled.
You get what I'm saying?
I see you.
Brick house.
I ain't gonna call you a brick house. Never in my life, but I respect that for you.
But you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I absolutely do, man. I absolutely do, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And my week in review, bro, to be honest with you, it feels like I've been working overtime too.
Listen, I didn't punch my kick-it ticket, you know?
For sure, man. To be honest with you, me punching my kick-it ticket is kicking my ass. It's starting to show up in all the other areas of my life.
It ain't fun no more.
Nah, bro. I mean, I was still in the gym, but I told you, I was the weakest karate in the dojo, bro.
For sure.
I was checking the box every time I pulled up.
I'm here. Don't ask for too much else.
Yeah, the eating situation was thrown off all this week. And then, you know what? Ultimately, I've been feeling it in my sleep patterns this week, too, man.
Oh, that's the worst.
And that's something that I wanted to bring into this week's Ask the Professionals, my brother. Now, Brother Jones.
What's the word?
You know, we always got to try to talk about things that's going to help the everyday modern man get their situation right. So I can't feel something myself and not bring it on these mics, man. So I really wanted to understand, how can we help men prioritize sleep and establish healthy habits, getting them to bed in today's day and age, especially considering that most people feel stressed and all the rest of the things that could be shaping you on this working world. Like, how can we really help get some tips to these guys about healthy sleeping habits?
First things first. Leave them hoes alone, right? You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep
that gets you
up.
A good night's sleep.
They going to keep you up later than you need to be anyway. You know what I'm saying? If it's a weekday and you ain't sealed the deal and she ain't to your house by 10 o'clock p.m., let it go, bro. You don't need that late night creep. You get what I'm saying?
That's the catch and release program.
That's the catch and release program. If she ain't show up by 10 or you ain't in her crib by 10, it ain't going to happen that night, bro. That's number one. Number two, there's been a lot of slack out there for the do not disturb. I saw some shit that was like, yo, it's feminine for a man phone to be in do not disturb. Like, fuck out of here. You can't get in contact with me. You're going to have to call 3 times and I might pick up. But use that. You get what I'm saying? I'm real quick to put that do not disturb on so that I don't get disturbed later in the evening, so that I can have that time to sleep. And the last point to all of this is set your environment up to sleep, right? Like my bedroom, I don't have a TV in my bedroom. It's designed for we either sleeping or, you know, we bed rocking. It ain't no in between. You know what I'm saying? The bed either shaking on the ground or while we, you know what I'm saying? Or we sleeping, right?
It ain't always the earthquake. I
so
hear what you're saying.
Turn the lights down low, set the environment up, maybe even get something, you know, aromatic, if you will, light a little incense to really set the tone. But that's how you get to sleep, and make sure you consciously do that. Don't just keep staying up late, mindlessly YouTubing or whatever you're doing, doom scrolling on TikTok. You know, they give you that little, hey, you've been scrolling for a while.
I never saw that.
See, you ain't a doom scroller. You know what I mean? You spend
I try to keep that out of my life.
You spend over an hour on the app, they're going to let you know, hey, you should probably take a rest.
Put it down. See, when the app is telling you that, that's when it's time to go.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. But those 3 things, leave the hoes alone, set your environment up the right way, and you know what I'm saying, really cultivate that time that you need to sleep.
I appreciate the Jones vision on that. You know, my tips to optimize recovery and sleep is going to be kind of similar in that I just want to reflect that wind down time. Yep. You know, if you want to go to sleep at a certain time, you want to start that wind down a little bit beforehand and just embodying some of the rituals that you need to do to get you in the right mindset to even fall asleep. To your point, if it's doom scrolling right before you just turn over and go to bed, your mind is going to be super active with way too many other things. If you're eating really late and you're trying to go like jump right into the bed, your digestive system ain't going to be sitting in the right situation, which is where I was messing up, bro. Getting home at like 11:30, but still needing to eat a little something before I go to bed. Now I got to stay up for a little bit longer, and I was just stuck in a pattern of trying to get out of that. So all of that to say, your bedtime rituals should start probably about an hour or 2 before you actually want to go to bed. Yep. And that'll help you get into that right direction for peak performance and optimization.
Listen, lights out for me by 10:45. By 9:45, I'm breaking it down. I'm making my way to the bed, you know what I'm saying, charging the phone. By 10:45, lights out. I'll be on Dream Street.
All right, man. And you know what? I like that. So that's how you're going to be able to optimize your sleep patterns out there, folks. And again, this week's Ask the Professionals, Kyle, was brought to you in part by the On The Move bag by Off The Strength. Kyle, now did you know that the On The Move bag by Off The Strength is the only crossbody bag that's got your back.
The only.
Exclusively. That's right, Kyle. This crossbody cycling inspired bag also comes with a suspension trailer that gets you your full body karate. That's that full body workout wherever you need to go. On the Move by Off The Strength. That's right.
The bag got your back, damn it.
It's got your back, Kyle. All right. Now
Okay.
we're leaving out of that. We're going to get into a little bit of the good. We're going to get into some bad.
All right.
And Kyle, I got to talk to you a little bit about some ugly this week. And it was a lot of it.
Okay.
On this week's Rip from the Headlines, my man. And first things first, I'm going to start off with a few quick white-collar crimes, my man, because it's been a lot of shocking stuff happening.
Those are my favorite.
These are ones that kind of fly under the radar on at least most of our timelines, but I'm trying to tell you.
It's a white collar, Tony.
People need to pay attention to these because the numbers here usually are way too high. So first, quick hit out the gate. Miami Beach Police just rolled out that they have a Rolls Royce in their fleet. I don't know what type of audit needs to go on, but immediately
They got it from Kodak.
we need to figure out
For sure.
why they need to have a Rolls Royce in their fleet of cars. I better not ever get pulled over by a Phantom. I'll be mad as hell.
Listen, bro.
Off rip. It just can't happen for me, man.
That's what you call a high price ticket.
All right. Speaking of high price tickets, Kyle, there's a man out in San Francisco by the name of Gregory Mullane. Now, Gregory Mullane really was trying to build himself a wellness empire that focused on developing these very elaborate multi-million-dollar luxury wellness homes. Now, Kyle, unfortunately, my man Greg, he done skated on the ticket, man. And he was ordered this week to pay $50 million back to investors who allege that he misused and mishandled their money that's on the wellness real estate side. I told you that this whole wellness travel and wellness real estate, fastest growing sectors, and there's some sharks out here swindling people 50 M's up off the ticket. Very next up inside here on these white collar crimes. Exponential Fitness, we talked about this before, being one of the fastest growing portfolios inside of the boutique fitness sector. They were taking over and buying so many of the properties that were out on the market. Well, they recently had to remove their CEO as a federal investigation started to expand, Kyle. See, on May 7th, Exponential Fitness found out that the U.S. Attorney's Office had disclosed that there are multiple cases pending about how they have made materially false and misleading sentiments to the people who have been investing in this company. And now heads are starting to roll as a result, my brother Jones. So this is one of the biggest companies. We kept reporting on how many properties they actually had and acquired. And apparently they was lying about a lot of that shit. And then finally, Peloton CEO stepped down this week after they're facing threats of delisting off of the stock market. This was one of the pandemic darlings. Shot out the roof when they first came out, and they were going to really revolutionize what in-home wellness was really supposed to be about. Now their CEO had to step down, and they're facing the delisting all in this week. What do you feel about hearing about these white-collar crimes, Kyle?
That sounds ugly. Like, I don't know where the good was at in any of those.
These are all just one category.
That's
I was
wild.
just giving you all crimes at the top.
The white-collar crimes are always interesting because it's so much thought that's in them. And then there's so much money on the line. Like,
you got to follow the money.
I aspire to make a $50 million mistake one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I messed up, but let me just take my 50 and go home.
He made a $50 million mistake, and that's the first guy that I was talking about in San Francisco, but he still sold a $27 million mansion out there while all the rest of this stuff is going on, right? So it's not like, this is the part about the white-collar crimes. You don't go to jail immediately when they're happening.
You got to wash the money. You
that's
know
the
what
level
I'm
of
saying?
aspiration that I really
Moving
want to try to get to.
Offshore accounts.
You know, but it's fascinating to see how much of it is happening in this industry. But again, the money is so big here, you have to pay attention to that, man.
The delisting sounds crazy on Peloton front.
They also had to let go of about 400 employees, which is about 15% of their staff overall. And it's just not looking good right now. I'm going to be honest with you. They are either going to sell immediately, or a lot of people going to be collecting some dust on them bikes out there, man. You know, speaking of...
Getting your Peloton repoed is crazy.
Nah, they're not going to be repoed. It just might not, that digital service that sits behind it. People might not,
it's
keep programming on that.
A coat hanger.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
It's just
a decorative art piece.
Yeah, it's just going to be in the corner just collecting dust, man. That's what I was trying to tell you, bro. But we move on, man. The in-gym happenings this week, brother. Did you see that Equinox announced that they had a $40,000 a year membership add-on
$40,000.
$40,000 in addition to what you were already going to pay.
All at once.
There's an additional $40,000 program that they just rolled out over there. Now, that's not shocking to me because if somebody was a highest tier trainer frequent user, you would be spending somewhere in that probably $30,000 to $40,000 a year anyway, depending on your frequency of training.
I need to know what all comes with this.
They are going deeper and deeper into the preventative wellness lifestyle. So they're starting to use things like your blood profiles and looking at the DNA and really trying to push that optimization to get you 100% of what you needed. So we are fully in the era where the high-end LeBron James level of lifestyle that you can get from health and wellness is now accessible to a certain level of clientele. It's just the extreme 1% right now.
They cloning folks, brother.
I tried to tell you, man.
They clone Tyrone and everybody else that's paying that 40 ticket to be at Equinox.
I mean, listen, if they have it, somebody's got to flaunt it. All right, so we started off on a little bit of a rough patch with these bad stories.
It's interesting.
Kyle, these next few stories I want to bring into this is going to be on the better side, okay?
All right.
So first things first, I want to shout out the Nigel Sylvester Foundation for the charity ride that they're doing today at Spike Wellness on Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York.
Word.
Now, we know them from the Fit For Us universe, and we know this brother Nigel's been out here, and his foundation is all over the world trying to raise some awareness for kids, getting them money, and helping them get their own bikes and get out there and explore kind of like he's done, man. So that's one of the things that I had to salute off the top. Something good happening in the bike community.
Salute that, brother. I seen the tease for the Nike that was coming out. It looked like the Jordan 4 silhouette.
The green Jordan 4 is looking crazy, man.
Homie been out here working, so salute to that, brother.
Yeah, man, and a hell of a way to kick off National Bike Month, man. Another thing that happened good in bike news this week, did you see that the Department of Transportation was encouraging New Yorkers to start a bike bus program to go to different schools?
Bike bus?
Bike buses. Now, Kyle, you might not have seen this, but this is a phenomenon where all the parents and all the kids get together, and it's just like a regular school bus. You'll have somebody in the front of the bus driving, so to speak, but then everybody behind them is kind of moving social cycle style. So they got a whole crowd of kids all riding to the same school, but they're on the bus on their bikes.
No.
Why not?
That's a hard pass. I don't know if you're saying they're going to be on a bus with their bike or the bus is them on their bikes.
The bus is them on their bikes.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me.
2x2.
Nope.
They got a whole assessment or a procession of kids.
If we talking Brooklyn, traffic is bad already as is. I'd be damned if I already was waiting behind the school bus. We're not even going to talk about the other school bus that be out here wilding because that's a whole nother category. But the regular school buses take up too much space. If you having kids on bikes to school, if it's one day out of the school year, yes. If you're trying to do this frequently, that's a hell to the no.
Well, I hate to tell you, man, it's going to be more and more bike buses moving around throughout the summer as we start to increase these city streets shutting down. So I got to salute them for that. Get the kids out here to ute them. Kyle, getting them on the bikes, my man.
No. It's a hard pass.
All right, man. Speaking of hard passes, bro. Now, we have covered this company before, and we've covered some of the impacts about these categories of medicines, but there's a new trend that's happening in the Ozempic category that I did not see happening, but a lot of people are apparently having issues with. Have you ever heard about the phenomenon called Ozempic butt, Kyle?
I have not. Is that something BBL Jersey is going through right now?
It might be. As this was something that everybody was talking about in the rap lyrics, I kind of feel like we had to dig deeper and understand what the side effects are. And apparently, Ozempic butt leaves ladies feeling deflated, sorry. Maybe defeated and deflated on the beach this season. This one woman says, I have now got a ghost ass after taking several months of the Ozempic.
Not the Casper ass out here.
After taking several months of the treatment, Kyle, apparently they did not account for the muscle loss that also comes with the fat loss that you will get off of here. And more people are now starting to turn to the BBL surgeries to try to augment what they are saying is a less than desirable outcome for how their body actually looks. What do you feel about hearing this new phenomenon taking place, the ghost ass out here, Kyle?
Ghost ass is crazy, but there has been research done. If you out here getting them back shots frequently, you know what I'm saying?
We're going to move on to the next category out of this one. The next one, I can see why some of these women might be upset from the ghost ass. And now, Kyle, another new trend that's coming up is rage rituals.
Okay.
are taking over the wellness scenes.
We
my
talking
friend.
like J-Lo enough rage? Like you've been beating on me? Harpo told you to beat me? That's the kind of rage we talking?
The newest wellness ritual encourages participants to embody their inner rage and express it via screams, via smashing things, and via letting this all out. Now, Kyle, I sent you a video a little bit earlier. Did you get a chance to check that out?
I didn't look at the video.
I need you to do a live reaction to what the rage rituals are, Kyle, as I continue to let you know. So, a woman by the name of Mia Magic, that's right, Mia Magic is a spiritual fairy godmother who has been leading these rituals.
Stop right there.
Right?
Anybody last name Magic and identify as a spiritual fairy godmother is trouble.
Well, Kyle, she was leading these rituals out in Scotland, and apparently she has found quite the crowd for these 3-day long excursions.
Okay.
Now, they typically range between $2,000 and $4,000, Kyle, where she will also do a small one-off shop at $222 a day for the ticket. And what they leave feeling with is a deeper level of relaxation and connection. But they go in there and they let all their energy out. Now, Kyle, as you're watching the video, I need you to let people know what this rage ritual entails.
What I'm looking at here is, put softly, there's a napkin American population. And they are out here just beating the hell out of the ground with some sticks. There's a lot of yelling.
She's getting her primal energy out, Kyle.
There's primal screaming that looks intense. This woman was grabbing her throat as if she has relieved her throat chakra from all of this screaming.
Come on, see?
There is a practice in which you exerting yourself to your highest capacity or your fullest capacity just to get it out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm not paying somebody for a rage ritual. I don't need to pay somebody to get my rage out. In fact, me paying somebody would bring my rage to a ritual if that was the case. That you said $225 a day? That was the day rate?
No, she had the classes range from $2,000 to $4,000 depending on what you want to do.
$2,000 to $4,000 to rage in the woods?
Or that's for the 3-day retreats. Or you could do a one-time class for $222.
I'm a raise and raid everybody's pockets who's on this trip.
See, this is why we need to really clear out the lane for the men's wellness side, Kyle. Now, if they needed to go on a men's rage retreat with Kyle
somebody
Jones,
getting arrested for sure. There's no way.
Why can't we do the same
men
thing?
Can rage in the woods alone peacefully. That's just not how it works.
Why can't it go down
Somebody's
the same way?
got to die. Like, that's it. I hate it had to be that way, you know. That's how we lost Johnny.
That's going to be it from this week's Rip from the Headlines. On my side, Kyle, what stories were keeping you entertained this week?
Damn, that was crazy. Man, my good, bad, and uglies all over the place this week. I'm going to start with first is some good. I want to shout out the good brother Spike Lee and Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
They've been out here living their best life in the Fiat commercial.
I saw that.
And I aspire one day for us to have such a commercial to just be ourselves in. Like, they ain't doing nothing crazy.
They really just chilling, bro.
It's like, yo, we've been friends for 30 years, and this is our first commercial together. Like, it really is restoring the feeling of Spike and the MJ and the Michael Jackson and the Jordan commercials, like all of that. Like, I love seeing Spike in that and his natural element.
I got to salute that all the way, too. I can't hate it, especially when you can get the bag and skate on them with some gelato at the same time. I'm all the way here for it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They making commercials look fun again.
I'm still mad at everything that he did for the Misfit side, but I understand he did that for his daughter, so I'm going to leave that where it is.
We not going to talk about them boots, fam. Them boots look like the Eiffel Tower was leaning with the...
that was a New York hate crime.
I can't even get into it. That was,
a New York hate crime.
A New York hate crime. That was very specific. Now, sliding out of that, I want to get into some tech actually a little bit.
Okay.
So I know you're a fan of the Meta glasses. We ain't going to cut the ad just yet, but you know, you've been out here in the incognegros, as we call them.
I have been wearing the incognegros.
The incognegros. So, you know, watch yourself.
They probably,
ladies,
not
if you see a
gonna be
white
happy
light,
about that.
if you see a white light, just know you better tighten up. Now, I want to bring your attention to the TLC glasses, Tone. Now, the TLC glasses are about to release soon, and what differs them from something like the Meta glasses is instead of just recording your day-to-day interactions, you are able to, in real time, talk to someone in another language, right? So if someone is, English is their second language and you're trying to have a conversation with them, you will get real live subtitles of what they're saying in your glasses as you talk to them. I'm like, fam, this is getting wild. Like, you're telling me I can go potentially somewhere else and talk to somebody in a whole nother language with just my glasses. I mean, hopefully I got to have Wi-Fi or some type of connection. I don't really know how that works just yet. But as an idea, this is crazy. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, I'm excited to see where augmented reality comes into play with this stuff, because I do think that it has a lot more real life application than what the VR headsets were.
Okay.
Everybody ran around with them Apple headsets for like a solid 2 weeks and then you haven't seen them anymore.
Yep.
These, I do feel like people will start to wear in their everyday life. And I do see your usage for something that is passive, but still very helpful. Like, I see people using those all the time. I'm all the way here for that, man. And if there is an augmented reality glasses company that wants my support.
You mean our time?
Our support?
What are you talking about?
We are both framed individuals right here.
Thank you.
You could be fully framed right here with the Off the Strength podcast.
You're at here. Thank you. Now, sliding out of that, let's get into a little something I might perceive as bad this week.
Okay.
Now, have you heard of the shore walkers, Tony?
No, I have not.
The shore walkers are out here walking 32 miles on the whole shore of New York. So
Okay.
we're talking from the bottom or from the top to the bottom, so to speak.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, they out here big stepping along the waterside, Tone. How would you feel about walking from the BX, the boogie down, all the way down to what we would call the seaport?
I've done that before. I just never knew that was like a
The shore
celebrated
walkers is your
thing
group now.
to do.
That's how you need to do it. Make a couple stops along the way, but essentially get your good foot out, get your two-step, your tango, whatever you need to do. I don't know if I need a walking group. I feel like this is something I would do by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've definitely done it dolo. I've never done it with a bunch of people, and I feel like I got to celebrate it, man. Anytime anybody's doing the activity that's going to get you to see more of the city that you never would typically see, because a lot of these same paths are bike paths. So
For sure.
I would be a hypocrite if I couldn't get you to support that, because I know what this whole path looks like without even needing to look at a map. On a bike, I do it so many times that it's not even something to write home about.
2 feet.
I've done it walking because I've had an issue with my bike.
Yeah, the flat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
it's either flat or broken chain. So it's like I've actually done that.
something.
Not on intention, but it was a thing. I made it home.
I'm here for it. I think they need a better name than the shore walkers. That's not really doing it for me.
Okay.
That's why it's kind of in the bad, but I see them. It ain't horrible.
What's an alternative name that you would want to give them?
We're not going to cut that right now because they're going to have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be my IP.
Yeah, you want to call them
I ain't
big
giving
steppers?
that up for free. No, they ain't no big steppers. They doing small steps. All right. Now, also in the bad this week, have you heard of the Fusion Gym, Tone?
No, sir.
Now, Fusion Gyms is a new chain that is taken over mainly in Pennsylvania, in the Philly area.
They got a lot of lighting.
It looks like if a video gamer created their ideal gym.
Okay.
There's a lot of equipment. The decor looks very video game-esque.
Yeah.
There's a basketball court there. They're essentially trying to turn the gym into a lounge / gym / hangout space. How do you feel about the Fusion Gym as you're looking at it? Tell
I think
the people.
that they made this exclusively for content because the lighting is so bright in this place.
Yep.
That it really, it has to be for you to take more pictures, and
Now,
it has to be for you to do
if it
more
is
video.
a content gym, how do you feel about seeing something like this pop up in comparison to the more luxury spaces like an Equinox or like a Lifetime that we've been in?
I'm not mad at it. I say I salute it, but they also see this is what happens when you get a bunch of guys to design something.
Okay.
They did not make this for women at all.
Not even a little bit.
It's like no part of this is inviting to the opposite sex in any way, and that's indicated by also the type of equipment that they have,
Yep.
the color choices for this equipment,
Uh-huh.
the shocking absence of any women in the video that they're showing you.
That part.
So they have a very specific thing that they want to do. Hey, as a person who's
It's the
trying to
She-Man, no
He-Man
women
Women
club.
Haters
Yeah,
Club.
the He-Man, no women club.
yeah, as a guy who's trying to help men get closer to their wellness thing, I could see if that's what they wanted to do. I see that they have successfully accomplished that. Lime green is going to be the thing that keeps most women out of the room.
I don't know if I need a marble floor in the gym that I'm going to, but
I definitely don't, especially when your business partner spent that money on the marble floor. Let me tell you how fast that budget goes away.
I'm trying to understand how you have a marble floor, but then you got the old school scale that you got to slide the...
Because you know where the budget went? The budget went to the marble floor, bro. You know how much marble costs?
We got an Allen Iverson basketball court, but yet the scale that we're using is from 1922. You know what I mean?
You know why I know that a marble floor inside of a commercial space where people going to wear their outside shoes and walk all over the rest of that is a terrible idea for something that's high traffic, Kyle?
Tell us, Tony.
Because I done been there. I've seen it. You know what that marble looks like when they got to pull it back up because you ain't got no damn money left?
Getting your marble repossessed. It's crazy. So speaking of that, we're going to slide into some ugly, right? Now, we've talked about BBLs just a little bit, you know, the Brazilian butt lift for the folks. How do we feel about, again, the Brazilian tattoo space that is, again, putting you under anesthesiology, Tone? Like, you are going under for tattoos, for ink, specifically. This is what they doing in Brazil.
I mean, listen, bro, anybody who is doing this, I hope you have...
We've graduated from numbing cream to just knock you out.
I hope
like Jada Kiss,
that your health is in pristine shape before you start to take on these.
Can you imagine
endeavors.
dying getting a tattoo?
No, you very well could. That's what I'm saying. Like any kind of underlying conditions, any kind of things that you don't have real good grasp on what your health and wellness is, and you're electing to do near surgical level procedures, just understand what risk that comes with. You know, other than that, I mean, the tattoo work does look good, but hey, I can't condone it.
You going to sleep for a tattoo, you're wilding out here, fam. Like, this is madness, I tell you.
We are in the time of the full NBA 2K player avatars, bro. Everybody gets to make themselves look like whatever they want to make it. And if you got the bread, people want the shortcut, bro.
Speaking of shortcuts, this is the last thing I'm going to cover in the ugly this week. Now, Brother Tone, are you familiar with Ferrari, the brand?
Yes, I am.
Are you familiar with the rules that exist for anyone?
No, I am not.
That has a Ferrari. Now, Ferrari is very particular. As you know, it was a spike company that started because of Lamborghini. Like, they had beef. The dude who started Ferraris drove a Lamborghini and was like, I could do this better. That's where you get a Ferrari from, right? Now, the rules are you are not allowed to modify the car by any means. You must get approval to modify a Ferrari once you buy it. Not only that, you have to be accepted by Ferrari to buy it, and they reserve the right to cut you off at any point if you have too many of them. There was a gentleman who had about 39 Ferraris. He was trying to get his 40th one, and they was like, nah, fam, you're done, and they cut him off. Now, I bring all this up because there was a gentleman that took the time out to customize his Ferrari and is now facing litigation for doing such.
Wait, what?
Because you are not allowed to customize a Ferrari once you have it. Like, that's just against the rules.
So who's suing him?
Ferrari.
They're suing him for something that he owns that he modified?
It devalues the brand when you take away from the way that they intended it to look in their eyes.
If he doesn't want to sell it, like, who's accruing that devalue?
The company. That's what I'm saying. Ferrari is a company. They like, yo, you not going to touch our whip and make it look like whatever you want. You have to keep it the same. And when you don't, legal action will ensue.
Yeah, that sounds like a reach, especially if I already pay. If it's not underneath some type of lease, or if it's not something that I have to pay off and I just own it, that sounds like a reach to me.
You will not only go through litigation, but you will be blacklisted from ever buying a Ferrari ever again.
I would never want a Ferrari ever again if they thought they could tell me what I could do to a car that I paid for.
This is a high price problem to have, but very interesting in the eyes of a business. It's like, fam, they are so headstrong on what they have in their product that they're not even letting their customers alter by any means without approval the type of vehicles that they sell.
Yeah, the enforcement just seems impossible to me. Is like as it stands now. This is me minding my broke
Ferraris
business.
Traditionally, and anybody that you know that has a collection, they typically look like they came right off the showroom floor.
Yeah, again, my level of income and my level of discernment can only make this make sense to me at this level right now. So maybe this is why I'm missing it. But if I bought something and I decided to do whatever I wanted to it, I'd be damned if somebody.
I'm here to tell you, don't buy a Ferrari. All right? Now, we're going to slide out of that, Brother Tone, and we're going to get into a Raising the Bar segment this week.
Let's raise this bar, Brother Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners from all type, from near and far, you now in store to raise your bar.
Okay.
Brother Tone.
Yes, sir.
Now, we've done a lot of talking specifically about the community, about, redefining black men's wellness, things of that nature. And we often talk about issues that arise. Mm-hmm. We just talked about earlier sleeping and how to get to your sleeping pattern and things of that nature. I'm here to talk about a very specific problem, Tone, that I feel a lot of people are facing out here, especially in 2024, as the seasons start to heat up and sizzle just a little bit.
Well, what's that?
I am talking about dating outside of your fit class.
Okay. I'm afraid of where this is going.
Now, I'm not saying this to be rude.
It sounds like it.
But you need to be real with yourself and where you are at present day. I'm not talking about last year. I'm not talking about in your 20s. I ain't talking about your college days. I'm talking about right now when you hear this message. Now, fellas, and all those who identify as such, I am KR Jones, and I am here to give you some frequently asked questions and some needs to know when you're dating somebody that is more fit than you. Because I have been on both sides. Okay. I've been to the mountaintop. I've been to the promised land. I promise you I could write the book on it.
Okay.
Now, once again, I'm only speaking because I have been through this, Tone. I've been on both sides. I'm giving you the real life game. I'm putting my heart and soul on the line here.
I'm here for it.
Now, I'll start this by saying I have been the fit person. Now, there's been famous slander on personal trainers being hoes and all of that jazz. Like, I've been on first dates and a woman asks, so what do you do? It'll be like, oh, I'm a personal trainer. Immediately, the conversation shifts. You get into your diet and how you used to be. I ain't got time for that. I'm not on. This ain't a evaluation session. Like, we just here kicking it.
And you ain't paying for this.
And we not paying for that. So the unsolicited force of fitness advice, I'm not here for that. So yeah. I'll start with that, right? Now, I've also been the secondary fit person, Tone. That's what I'm going to call this situation. Okay. Secondary fit person simply just means that the other person you are entertaining, you are dating, they more fit than you are. Mm-hmm. Not saying that's a good or a bad thing. There just is a stark difference, if you will.
Okay.
Now, as the fit person, you got to be prepared for all the jokes that's going to come your way about the dedication, about the way your clothes fit, about your food choices, maybe even your drink choices. All of that is on the table, right?
Oh, yeah,
somebody's
absolutely.
going to clown you for being in shape. Man, look at this superhero-ass dude over here.
Oh, green juice.
Yeah, right?
Rabbit food.
Arnold Schwarzenegger looking like there's going to be a level of jokes that just come because you're in shape, right?
Okay.
So you got to take those on the chin. Now, what I will tell you is that when the jokes start flying, that's normally when the insecurities come up on the other side, right?
Okay.
Now, on the converse, you shall not then lean into fat jokes or body shame anybody else.
Absolutely not.
Right. That is off the table. But what I will suggest is your rebuttal is more strategic, like a Kendrick diss, if you know what I'm saying, right? You got to think mentality. You got to attack their attention span, or maybe even a hairstyle might be a low-hanging fruit.
This is what you
get what I'm
advise
saying?
people to.
Because you got to defend yourself. You can't just sit there and take it. You know what I'm saying? Mama ain't raised no bitch.
That's how you feel about defending yourself against your partner.
Now, as a secondary fit person, this is the other side of that coin, Tone. You know, you got to be prepared to step into a whole new realm of fitness.
Yeah.
You gotta keep up. And now, fellas specifically, this is if you're dating or entertaining a young lady that is more fit than you, because I have been there, right? Go at your pace. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to go above and beyond. You know, when you try hard, you die hard. You get what I mean? Like,
especially during group activities.
During group activities, if you've been out the game for a little bit, don't nose dive into it. Stay in the shallow water and doggy paddle your way into the deep end. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go too hard because it will be a memory that's not going to be good for you.
You got to recognize where their excellence is too.
Yep.
And you got to make sure that you have a healthy respect for their excellence. So if they are a legit runner and you are the secondary fit person in Kyle's terms,
yes,
you might not want to go out for when they're doing their workout that's specific to them. If they want to do something that's together and collective, you got to start off with understanding how we going to negotiate the terms and conditions before we start that workout.
Know the verbiage, have clear communication on expectations. Don't go into a blind.
This is a fun run. We coming into this keeping a mild pace.
Because you will get pushed past your limit, right? And you're going to have to go above and beyond. And from there, again, that's when you need to be real with yourself and what you have. Now, I'm going to go into a small anecdote for a little bit. Back in my day, when I was in college, the type of women that I was really attracted to were dance majors and women on the track team, right? I was just like,
you don't say.
They got the best bodies. They mobile. They fit. You know what I'm saying? They shake a little ass from time to time. It was a good time, right? Now, I was in the midst of a nice dalliance with this young lady on the track team, and I was like, you know what? If she a runner, let me get on to my running game, right?
I'm going to run with her.
When I tell you, this young lady had me running X's, we was on the Brooklyn Bridge, and I was going up and over hurdles. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real life hurdles, not hurdles within our situationship, but real life up and over hurdles that I was unprepared for. And I had to take that on the chin. Like, you know what? I'm not as real as I thought I was. Let me dial in a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Now we're going to slide into the frequently asked questions. Tom.
Okay.
Is dating outside of your fit class recommended? I'm going to go ahead and say only if you're committed to bettering yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're not committed to getting better, don't do it, because they will leave your ass as soon as they realize you ain't got that extra motor. You get what I'm saying? They're going to trade you in for a newer unit, somebody that's moving better and doing more, if you get what I'm saying.
Terrible.
Second. Is the sex better? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like having an energetic partner. You out there, you got them chicks with the lazy knees. You know what I'm saying?
Right now.
The big backs, they're not really going to give you the full capabilities as that young engine. You know what I'm saying?
That is KR Jones _. Make sure you send all complaints right to this man.
Last but not least, is matching gym outfits a thing?
Absolutely not.
I'm going to say that's a hell to the no.
I don't care what type of shape you in. If you pull up and you matching your significant other
in the gym,
everybody in the gym thinks you are corny as hell. Don't do it. I don't care who's paying you to do it.
Yeah.
I don't care what y'all got going on after y'all get up out of the gym.
Yeah.
It could be a full photo shoot moment.
It's nasty behavior.
Don't do it.
For sure. The behavior is really nasty, and it screams a man who got caught cheating and is trying to do anything to stay in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man.
He's trying to atone.
Yeah. You got caught out there.
So I'm a good man. I'm a stand-up man.
And now you got to do all the bullshit to get back. See,
we match together.
Man, it's crazy out here. Now, after I laid all of this out, Brother Tone, I want to ask you, is there anything I'm missing? Is there any advice you can give folks on dating outside of your fit class?
I think people just need to love and let love, man. If you can have your date and you can have your fitness, they don't need to be mixed in the same situation. If you really are dating somebody, in Kyle's terms, outside of your fit class, keep your wellness regimen to yourself. This don't need to be the place where y'all bond. If you try to make the bond happen in spaces where you see the disparity is there, I don't know if it's going to be as inspirational and motivational as one would want. And that space between wherever you are and wherever you want to be might be a breeding ground for some friction.
I'm not going to disagree to anything you're saying. Let the buyer beware. You know what I'm saying? Engage on whatever level you want to engage, but be real with yourself. At the end of the day, if you're rapping to somebody that's a little bit above where you at physically, if you're rapping to somebody that's a little below where you at, hold that space like Tone said and try to avoid friction at all costs.
I say love and let love, man. We got to let people out here cure this loneliness.
Be real with yourself, all right? There's always going to be somebody at your level, and you can find somebody at your level. When you start shooting those baskets a little further away, know what comes with that.
Hey, man, you miss every shot that you don't take, as I heard somebody say not long ago.
We're going to slide out of that, brother. That's where we're going to leave our Raising the Bar segment this week. I think the bar has been raised properly.
The bar has been raised. I appreciate that, my brother.
Out of that, I mean, we can only do one or two things. First, I'm going to say we might have to relax responsibly, Brother Tone. Now, what is this Relax Responsibly segment brought in part by?
Well, Brother Jones, I would say that since it is Relax Responsibly, it needs to be brought to you in part by the peak level of relaxation that one would get in a roll-up and roll-out class.
You don't say.
Why don't you tell the good people what they can expect, my friend?
I am KR Jones, and I am your roll-up and roll-out connoisseur, right? I'm your host. I'm going to take you on this journey through your body.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sounds wild.
Wednesdays at 8 p.m. We going to relieve some tension, you know what I'm saying? Loosen you up to get you right for the week at Frequency Movement. That's where you need to be with me.
Okay, I don't know what Kyle is selling in this class, but it sounds like you're going to get...
Show up.
You're going
to find out.
You're going to get everything it's worth.
You can fuck around and find out if you want.
How are you relaxing this week, my friend?
Man, I was relaxing this week because I was able to assist with the yoga teacher training program.
Okay.
Now, faithful listeners of the show will know that I teach yoga. I've been teaching for the last 4 years, but it's definitely been a casual practice over the last decade or so. And this is my first time assisting with a yoga teacher training program. I'm only teaching the anatomy portion, so, you know, functional anatomy and how it relates to yoga and things of that nature. But it is refreshing to fill my cup again, being in that space of yoga teachings and learnings and watching somebody go through this journey that I've already been through. So
that's what's up.
That was relaxing this week, man.
Nice, man. Nice. On my end, I was relaxing Kyle by doing some deep cleaning.
Okay.
Now, there was a couple...
You got a toothbrush out? You was on the ground with it?
I did get a brush out. It wasn't a toothbrush because I feel like...
Toothbrush on the tiles is that slave clean. You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel like I needed that energy.
Yes, sir. I got the corners and the sides with the baseboard.
So I had my regular brush out, my regular scrub brush. I wasn't going into that bag. But when you're doing some deep cleaning, it definitely does give you a time to reflect and do some soul cleaning as well, too, man. And I paired my deep cleaning first. It really just started off on that rainy day where I came back inside the house way too muddy, and I was just kind of like, all right, let me clean off this bike. I was like, if I'm getting a brush out to like polish up this whole biking situation, I might as well do an extended deep cleaning. And that whole sentiment lended itself into a conversation that I would have after that, where I did some more deep cleaning, but it was really for the internal kind of work, man. I had a chance to talk with a therapist this week, and I was having a conversation about the idea of healing being something that kind of happens not as a definitive destination, like a finite kind of destination. It's always going to be something that kind of continuously evolves, right? So throughout a lot of the situations where we're talking about stress or talking about any kind of like, you know, tumultuous times in life where we're facing this, a lot of people bring up the connotations of healing as if like, I'm going to get to this point one day where I never have to worry about anything else and I will be complete. And let me be the first person to tell you that is never going to be a day
that day don't exist
you ever see in any of your walks through life. But what you can see is learning throughout this whole journey that is life, that you are going to be acquiring different skills and tasks that you can, or skills that you can apply to different tasks that you need to do. And the healing is reflected in the work that you do. So having that conversation with somebody that ultimately I want to bring kind of that full circle moment back to the difference between that bike riding being mental health and wellness. I was really trying to get some good tools to use for the people that I want to serve ultimately at the end of the day. So I had a conversation for everybody else, but I did my own deep cleaning in that conversation as well. Talk about healing not being the destination, but the journey, my brother.
It's beautiful, man. What was the soundtrack like to that?
You know, it wasn't a soundtrack. This was a phone call. I was in my mind.
About through the deep cleaning. There was
through the deep cleaning. Man, it's always soul, bro. You got to get some soul. If you're going to do some soul searching and soul scrubbing, you got to get some good Sunday soul in there. I'm talking Al Green in the background. You know what I mean?
Little Stevie.
You know throw some Stevie in there, man. You got to get them in the mix. You know, throw a little Marvin in there. You know, that's always how to clean house sound.
What's going on to get you right. You know what I'm saying?
That's how a clean house should sound.
There was a playlist that I saw on Spotify. It was called Marvin Gaye's Confused Ass. Because it had all the track titles like, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Where's the love? You know what I'm saying? He was
asking a lot of questions.
He was asking a lot of questions back then. So it was one of those, but it was a good playlist. You know, shout out to Marvin. You know, rest in peace to that brother.
Man.
How are you hopeful for this week, Tony? Or what are you hopeful for, I should say?
I'm hopeful that in this next chapter of change, Kyle, I continue to move towards what I was just talking about in that healing kind of process, a new learning, a new level of learning, a new level of understanding as to what I'm going to need to face in order to get to the place that I want to get to. So it's continued hope for that whole process to keep evolving.
I wish you nothing but, a righteous path on that path that you want.
I appreciate it, brother. What are you hopeful for this week?
Man, as I was assisting with this teacher training, we had been asked the question of like, what's nourishing to you? Mm-hmm. And my response was that moment when you get that soulful laugh around the people you love, where y'all just shooting the shit and like the laugh comes from the bottom of the belly, like all the way out. You in that moment. And I think that was the most nourishing for me, because we in a time right now, man, the world is serious as hell. There's always something going on. It's bad. Every corner you go, there's some wild shit going on. So I think in those moments, taking the time to be around the people you love and love on your folks is what we need most for community and to nourish. So my hope is that more people find that feeling in their communities and share that and continue to, cultivate those relationships.
Man, well, you bring that feeling wherever you go, brother. So I just got to tell you to shine bright. Shine bright, Brother Jones. And if they needed to find that feeling, Kyle, that you speak of, man, of course, we're coming to you live from the Block of the Rock at Newsstand Studios. Kyle, if they needed to check in with us, where could they find us over here?
Man, you could find us at @offthestrength_. That is on Instagram. If you're in the greatest city in the world, that is New York City. You can come on down to Rockefeller Center. We are located in the bottom of the rock. At the block of the rock, but in the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
If you can't make it, you can visit IG at Rockefeller Center or Twitter at Rock Center NYC.
That's right, folks. And of course, we brought to you in part by the good brother Brian Perkins, and I did that production. Once again, it's been another fantastic episode of Off the Strength. I'm a trainer called Tony.
KR Jones.
Peace and much love to y'all out there. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Peace. Look at that. 3 on the nose.
We did it. What's good, everybody? I'm a trainer called Tony, and I am here from the infamous Off the Strength podcast, asking you today, listeners, viewers, wherever you may be, to please like, listen, and subscribe to our podcast. This is how we're going to continue to be able to deliver you the best goddamn wellness information out here. So if you want to keep hearing this and you want us to keep growing, you are a part of this show just as much as anything else. So please go to offthestrength.com. Make sure you check out our blogs. Make sure you check us out on IG. And if you're hearing this voice and you didn't hit that subscribe button, know that Kyle is going to come looking for you.
You got that right.